On March 24th, multiple people were left behind unable to make their cruise under suspicious circumstances. The customer blames the travel agent blames the cruise line, and the cruise line blames the agent. So it is a finger-pointing game. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Some is saying it's fraud, some saying it's miscommunication. But I will play the story and I'll chime in when some clues appear.
Cruise passengers was left at the terminal last Sunday, and they were watching that ship leave without them.
They blame the travel agent, who blames Carnival Cruise Lines, but Carnival puts it back on the agent. In any case, it was chaos for those who just wanted to sail away for a week. Fox 9's Karen Scullin is in the newsroom after speaking with two passengers left behind. Karen.
Cherie Goudot had been planning this cruise for a year.
They say they were planning this for about a year. So in theory, they booked a year in advance, and that's clue number one.
As she was being treated for thyroid cancer. Then when two family members passed away during that time, the trip with her sister became even more important. But it all unraveled in a matter of minutes the day that they were supposed to leave.
Things start to go wrong on the day of the cruise. That's clue two.
A week ago, they were on their way to Miami, two sisters who couldn't wait to board the Twin Cities takeover 90s throwback cruise on the Carnival Horizon. It was a much-needed spring break.
I was looking forward to hearing Juvenile, reliving some 90s music, the fresh food that was going to be on the boat, the burgers that was going to be on the boat. Just hanging out with people.
But when the pair went to the cruise terminal to board the ship last Sunday, their excitement quickly turned to confusion, anger, and disbelief. They were not going to be able to board.
The next morning, we wake up, we get to the port. They can't find my name anywhere. I'm not tied to their room. Somebody else is in their room.
They say their travel agent passed by and said she would fix things, but didn't, and then disappeared.
She comes back, she walks all past us, assuring that we're going to get a room. This is what she's telling us. She goes back on the ship, never comes back out, never says anything to us.
I feel like it's unethical. Like, how could you just leave that many people standing out there? And everybody that was out there was booked under her.
Cherie says she's out $2,800 that she paid in June, along with the 50 people she was standing with on the pier.
When she never came out to address people and that boat was selling off and we're sitting on that port, people were in tears. People were upset. They were angry.
The travel agent, Monica Faulkner, apologized on social media and said in part, "Rest assured, we are taking immediate action to rectify the situation. All affected customers will receive a full refund, along with a complimentary cruise package as a gesture of our commitment to making things right."
This response from the travel agent, Faulkner, sounds like a pretty good response and a good start, but the following explanation seems kind of off to me.
Faulkner is currently on the cruise, but I spoke to her by phone. She says Carnival canceled a number of bookings on February 21st. She tried to rebook them on the 22nd, but the ship sold out. She did not explain why the money wasn't returned then and the clients notified. Faulkner does say their money is being held by a company called TravelJoy, who she says independent agents use to collect money for bookings, and that the money will be returned.
So personally, I have used TravelJoy before, and this is not how TravelJoy works. How TravelJoy works is, yes, you can send a payment authorization to the customer. So you send a link to the customer, they'll put in their credit card information, the amount that they wish to authorize. Then the travel agent will be notified once that is filled out, and it will have the customer's card information. Then they'll take that card information and input it into the supplier's website, whether it be Carnival, Virgin Voyages, Norwegian, etc., no matter who it is. Therefore, the customer's card information is input directly into the supplier's website. So TravelJoy never holds on to the money. So the fact that Faulkner is saying TravelJoy is holding on to the money is most likely false. However, there is an option to where TravelJoy will hold on to the money, but it incurs some additional fees. So why would you use this for paying off an entire cruise? The travel agents that use a specific service is usually for service fees. Some travel agents charge a fee to work with them. And that's the only time you use that feature because it goes directly to the agent, but it doesn't go to the cruise line. So why would they use it to pay the supplier? Doesn't make sense.
Cherie and Dee Dee aren't buying it.
And if you were going to refund, right? She keeps saying refund. You would have refunded already.
In this case, the customer is definitely correct. If her cruise was indeed canceled on February 21st, the refund, if any, would be issued on the 21st. Maybe a few days later.
You've been on that ship refunding people the money.
Cherie and Dee Dee stayed with their family in Florida for the week, but they said some people tried to fly back and couldn't because of the snowstorm. Meanwhile, others said they sat outside booked hotels waiting for a cancellation. Now, I did see a couple people on social media supporting Faulkner, who again says she'll refund the money upon her Saturday return. We reached out to Travel Joy to see if the money is actually there, but did not yet hear back. In the newsroom, Karen Scullin, Fox 9.
Okay, here is what I believe happened. Most likely, from the information that I have gathered, which again, by no means is exactly what happened, because we're not privy to all the information. And if you ever heard two people in disagreement, even if it's the same event, two stories never mesh up exactly. But with the information that I currently have, I believe this is the most likely scenario. It was said that they've been planning this cruise for over a year, so I'm assuming it was booked over a year in advance, and they were making monthly payments, as shown by this receipt. And since she was out the full amount of the cruise, this means most likely this was canceled in a non-refundable period. And if there was a refund due, the customer was right that a refund would have already been issued by the cruise line. February 21st, Faulkner said the Carnival Cruise canceled the customer's cruise. If this was true, two things would have happened. First, the customer should have been notified by Carnival, especially if the customer information was input correctly by Faulkner. The second thing that does not make sense is the final payment date would have been well before February 21st. Would have been in January. Because typically this is 90 days before sailing on a 6-day or longer cruise, which this was. And if it was a shorter cruise, it would be 75 days. So the dates still do not add up. Because this cruise would have taken off in March 24th. So do the math. So I believe it's safe to say that this was not canceled due to non-payment. The details of this could be slightly different if it was a charter cruise, which it seems like it might be. But still, even then, the final payment date will probably more likely be sooner rather than later. So all of this does not make much sense to me. The numbers and dates just do not add up. Faulkner says she tried to rebook the cruise the day after, but the ship was full. This is fully possible because ships are sailing at ordinary capacity, and especially with so close to a cruise, if a room opens up for whatever reason, more than likely it is going to be sold out immediately. So the next person who's going to search for that cruise is going to see that opening and book it right up. So the timeline still does not add up. So what I'm thinking what probably happened, because as I mentioned earlier, Travel Joy does not hold on to the money, is more than likely the travel agent made a mistake, or it's possible something more nefarious has been going on here, which I hope that's not the case, but things like this does happen from time to time. I don't believe it's the customer's fault, because if it was the customer's fault, the agent wouldn't say, oh, we're going to make this right, we're sorry this happened. So I don't think that's what happened. It's one of the first two options I mentioned. What happens now? Faulkner said there'll be a full refund of the cruise and a complimentary cruise package included because this was not the fault of the customers. And most likely this will come out the travel agent's pocket. And for all you travel agents out there, this is why it's important to have E&O insurance. People were stranded, they had to reschedule flights because of this mistake. The E&O policy or errors of omission will help make this right. Depending on your plan and how it's set up, the kind of coverages you have, this will vary. May cover a small portion, may cover all of it. More than likely, the travel agent is going to have to pay out of pocket, then it's going to get reimbursed by the insurance company if they have it. So be sure you have a policy like this if you're a travel agent. You don't use it often, but it's one of those rare circumstances where if it does happen, you need it. So with that information, it's hard to tell exactly whose fault is it, the travel agent or the cruise lines. I'm pretty sure I know who, but I'll let you decide on that. If you worry about your cruise, there are several things you could do to make sure everything's on track. One is ask for a receipt directly from the cruise line. The receipt shown earlier does not appear to be directly from the cruise line. It seems to be a third-party receipt or one created by the agent himself. Or maybe even the charter company that they may have used. But regardless, you can still get the hold of the version from the cruise line directly, whether it be Carnival, Royal Caribbean, etc. So when in doubt, request that copy. The second is to log into the cruise line app themselves. Carnival had the Carnival Hub app, so no matter how you book it, through a travel agent, through a charter, you take that booking information, go into the app, and put the cruise information, and it'll have everything having to do with your cruise. Because if your cruise is canceled and you log in, it would say this booking has been canceled or this booking is not available. There'd be some kind of red flag to say, hey, something is not right. Because from what we hear so far, it sounds like the customer had no clue any of this was going on until the day of the cruise, which is very worrisome. 3, if you use a travel agent, make sure they are trusted and have a good reputation. There's a lot of travel agents out there. I highly recommend them because they have a lot of value they bring. However, there is a handful that give everyone a bad name. So be sure to do your research. Or 4, you can book direct with a cruise line. I know this is a weird thing to hear from a travel agent to book direct with the cruise line, but let's be honest, not everyone's going to use a travel agent. I feel like travel agents could bring great value with the knowledge of information, making booking easier, potentially saving you money. But some people don't want that extra help or want some advice but want to retain all the booking power to themselves. Which is why I have this YouTube channel, because yes, I am a travel agent, but not everyone's going to want to use a travel agent. But I still want to help people book their vacations. Even if you don't book through me, at least I can help you make those decisions indirectly through my videos with my advice, tips, ship tour videos, etc. So I'm helping you without actually booking it for you through my YouTube channel as well. And if you choose to book through me and support me, that's great, it's awesome. But if not, just by watching my videos, I know I'm helping you out some way and that makes me happy. Either way, you're informed. If there's another update on this, I'll upload another video, but more than likely, there's not because, well, probably everything that's going to be said publicly has already been said publicly. Everything's probably going to happen behind closed doors at this point forward. So I hope that cleared a few things up, and I will see y'all next time with more cruise videos.